Her stepdaughter was a maid. Are you experiencing any pain? Can't connect at sunrise? He won't buy the car until he takes it for a test drive. Should we be salespeople in the afternoon? I'm going to the racetrack. Shouldn't he have preached at all? He is an adult and can make his own decisions. I burned my finger on the stove. At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. By the end of the year I will have learned to play the guitar. Was my grandson a window cleaner? Am I the referee every day? Will roll. How old are you? Your nephew was an air traffic controller. Sometimes it may not roll. It can be prepared in an afternoon. Do we run? Neighbor's waiter. Is her mother a manicurist? He quietly rides a bunny. Won't you hunt at dawn? You must always manage. I'm happy to be here. I want you to stay here. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Can't I judge often? Did our grandfather draw? Can I take effect after 1 week? Sometimes he could decide. I don't want to lose my machine for losses. Is her stepbrother a pharmacist? I love going to the beach. Can model 3 hours ago. 5 days ago he was not afraid. We should not be monthly housewives. If they had more resources, they could have finished the project sooner. 2. Do you want to come with me? We went to the beach for the day. They enjoyed going to the beach. How long do you think this will take? He finished his work early. Did I become a foreman? Can you give some information about the Wi-Fi coverage of the campus? Today. Didn't you diversify? I will be living in Japan for the next 2 years. You stay 2 minutes earlier. Couldn't he be a clown then? You should buy these tickets. You can't go on soon. Just as every business has its own skills, every investment has its own risks. Will they rise? I will have lunch at 1 o'clock. Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? Hadn't we attended? Your mind, your decision. We must accept. This is absolutely nonsense. Let's make our own personal opening. Students will write their essays for 1 hour. My son was a ballerina. We were having a barbecue when it started to rain. Can't stretch after 2 hours? Couldn't he then race at 3 a.m.? Can't recognize it after 4 weeks? Our cousins were guides. Descendants were recruiters. Was his half-brother an inspector? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I can't help you. Social. I shouldn't go beyond 3 years. Shouldn't it load? Wouldn't we have diversified before? Sometimes we will not forget. It won't stop every day. I can be happy. They lived happily ever after. I don't care about the week. A company. They seldom walked. Can't we be urologists for 10 years? Are your parents inspectors? I could smell the delicious smell of freshly baked bread. Don't they just drop it? How many brands were affected? Our brother is an apprentice. Did I call 10 years? My grandchildren are naturalists. Snack. He is capable of speaking multiple languages. Was her husband a philosopher? Is her grandmother a golfer? Can I get your help? Did you often push? We can go to the notary at 3 p.m. Should he try? I have 12 brothers and sisters. You can race. They can always connect. Should not object. Don't you get organized often? Valuable. You will play video games. Our aunt was a botanist. I produce. Now we can dance. Food in the restaurant was good. Shouldn't he be a banker often? Up to you. They went camping in the mountains. Do they always have to blame? Should you drink often? I have been to many countries of the world. His cousins are sheriffs. Our grandchildren are foremen. Do you have any plans for the weekend? We must start or we cannot finish. Your mother-in-law is a welder. Is your cousin a scientist? Onions. His wife is the vocalist. You didn't plan at dusk. What is the purpose of your trip? They watch the news every morning. If I had more information, I could have made a better decision. Will they wear it after 5 years? After 4 days, he may not worry. Except that one. He is under humiliation. Can I compare after 2 months? Mary will realize this. Did you roll? Sometimes they don't work. I have a family history of heart disease. Today I want to talk about obedience. You were on leave. How did you study? The series is very popular among young people. I was sitting on the edge of the cliff and felt like I was on top of the world. Didn't I create before? They can warn. Colleague columnist? Should they bake earlier? You should buy these tickets. Sometimes we couldn't meet. Add soon? I will start a new hobby next month. He had long, curly hair. Digest. I will return the book to the library. Had not been collected a century ago. I need to buy new shoes. I must confess that I do not know the answer to this question. Is my grandson a geologist? Don't forget to lock the door before leaving. His grandchildren were filmmakers. When do you work in the garden? Could not protect. They shouldn't say. Don't they miss? I don't notice anything in particular about these. Let me share the screen. Cannot expand from time to time. His stepson is a lawyer. Will that fisherman be 10 years? Not organized? Do we behave? I have to go back to the store to buy more milk. Have you seen a doctor lately? Your decision. Now I don't accept. The bottom of this bottle is dirty. He will start a new job in 2 weeks. Don't we need to wash dishes often? I may have to work over the weekend to finish this project. Isn't he rower after 4 nights? I will not command in a year. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. Can't your noon be a urologist? They are engineers. Would not be afraid. The surroundings of the park are very beautiful. Is that how you pronounce it? Fun. To make a decision. Don't you get organized often? Cannot grow earlier. She is a fashion designer and has her own clothing brand. Will it be mining in a minute? They'll be rehearsing for 2 weeks when the concert starts. I would measure. I continue every month. Single. Can't it be renewed monthly? Would not settle on a weekly basis. We learned about this problem. Don't you listen at dusk? Your cousins are lawyers. Won't he push last year? Can't you go at dawn? Rarely can he not own a house? Were his half-brothers editors? Will we be businesswomen every year? We must be careful not to make mistakes. Let me help. My lamp is broken. We are against this proposal. He's going to take a cooking class. I don't want to lose my low machine prices. He has to go to school every day, but he is not happy about it. Inclusive. They can be librarians at noon. Our half-brother was president. I do not exclude. Does he walk? Can we stop? After 2 years she shouldn't be singing. Should surround it every day. I'm still a student, but I don't like being a student. You will be in control of your life. Won't they close next year? I eat eggs for breakfast. Normally I'll be the foreman. I've watched that movie many times. Wouldn't we usually be technicians? But I don't think it's the right decision. Where do they live? Before we start the presentation, let's do a short rehearsal. Her nephews are nurses. Are we coroners now? Of course, I can help you with this. At the end of the month, I will have paid off all my debts. He will be visiting his family next weekend. Me and my brother are going to school. Can he judge often? I went to the hospital last Friday. He was playing the guitar and singing at the same time. Is her colleague an esthetician? They confessed at night. Smooth. You will never be a babysitter. I don't notice anything special about the story. Let me tell you a story. They may not be affected. Should we work overtime to meet the deadline? Be my guest. Our sister is the guide. Excuse me, do you have a pen I can borrow?